Bodybuilding nerds, unite! You are listening to Bodybuilding Nerds Radio. Just a couple of nerds who love all things bodybuilding related. This show is brought to you by Think Big Patreon, the best fans on the planet and multiverse of bodybuilding. SupplementSource.ca for our listeners up north. TrueNutrition.com. Use code THINK. Save yourself a pretty penny on some delicious concoctions of your own creation. Parabolic.com. I am your host, Vijay Puri. Along with me, as always, is Scott McNally. Scott, how you doing?
Hey, Vij, I'm doing good, man. I'm excited about this.
We have a special show for everybody. It's been a long time since any one of us nerds have done something like this on the show. Yeah. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. We're gonna review VJ's competition. Vij jumped into a contest. It was literally, man. When did you remind me? When did you decide that you were going to compete?
So on the last BNR, I didn't know at the time, and that was only a month ago, right?
Yeah.
So that was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it would have been like right around after we did it. I'd probably just decided at that point, like my nephew Logan was getting ready, and I was just like, well, shit, I'm getting lean really quick too. Why not? Just jump in and see what happens.
Yeah.
It was, you got to answer the call, man. It came calling. So,
It's funny, man, because like all through all the original BNR episodes, I was like, Vij, when are you going to get back on stage? And you're like, oh, never, man. I'm done with this. I'm never competing again. And I, eventually accepted, like, oh, Vij just done with it. He doesn't care to. And why would I want somebody to do something that they didn't want to do? You know what I mean? So yeah. I just accepted, like, Vij is done with that part.
I thought so life. Too. It just, once that fire leaves, you don't know that it's going to come back ever again, and then, but once it does come back a little bit, you got to answer that call.
Yeah. Hey, how? So. Oh, and we do have some other stuff I know we're going to do. I've got a supplement review.
Yes.
We've got, what else? Shout outs.
We've got shout outs. We've got supplement review. We've got, just our general Bodybuilding Nerds Radio banter.
Good.
First thing is first, Scott, how's training?
Oh, man. So, okay. So for those of you who maybe are tuning in for the first time, this is what we do. We get together, we talk about like what's going on with their training right now, and then we usually do all the other stuff that we mentioned. And
that's right.
It will be a little bit more of a abridged show today. We don't have any kind of reviews or anything like that we're going to do later. A lot of times we do like what the kids call reactions. But hey, training is better, if that's a good word. So I was in a good groove before my week in Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
And then I assumed like, okay, I'm going to Vancouver. I've been pretty depleted for, the last whatever months. I'm going to like just cut back on the diet a little bit, not worry about it as much. Eat some good food, eat some samosas, get some fish and chips, get all the things that I wanted while I was in Vancouver, including some of the Nanaimo bars. And lo and behold, great time, man. It was awesome. We had,
I could only imagine.
Beautiful weather. It was sunny the whole
landscape
time.
on its own in Vancouver is just like awe-inspiring. It's just,
mind-blowing.
Oh, man. What a place.
And the air is clean and fresh,
Yes. Yeah, it's got ocean current to smell,
Yeah. And we had a lot of family stuff to do. We were there for a wedding, but we did get away a little bit. We went out to the mountains one day in North Vancouver.
Oh, jealous.
To the ocean another day and like walked out in the low tide, which was fun.
So nice.
And I got to go train at Ron's gym too, which was cool, man. So
shout out Ron Partlow.
It was fun. We had a good time. I had a great time. And here's the thing is that everybody got sick like one by one. Victoria was the first. And at first she was like, I think it's allergies. And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, and then I have a sore throat. And then 3 days in, she's like, yeah, I'm sick. Oh. And then other people started getting sick. And,
oh, man.
I got through without getting sick, right? The whole trip.
All right.
And then when I got home the next day, then my throat started getting sore.
Oh,
and
I
dealt with it. So it kind of, I didn't do a lot of training while I was away. I just trained the one day at Ron's gym. We got a lot of walking in, and I tried to make sure that like we walked every day through the neighborhoods and stuff. But then I plan to get back into it. But now I'm like dealing with like all sorts of congestion and all that. And anyway, so training's better because when I first got back, it kind of sucked and I felt beat down. But I'm getting back into it, and I'm here's the thing, man. Having not been in as much of a depletion because I kind of filled out for the week and ate cake and everything else.
I would say so. Yeah.
I am getting crazy pumps.
All right.
That's
the
craziest, man. So.
That's the best part about taking a break. You know, you come back to the gym and you're like, God, I miss this feeling. Oh shit.
Yeah, my face is fuller. My biceps are fuller.
Yeah, I was gonna say you look thicker all over. Look good, like in a good way though, not like in a bloated, gross.
Yeah, no, you hit that window.
Water retention's too much. You know,
you hit that window where it's like it still looks good.
Yeah,
if you were to do it for another week, then it would all look like that again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just spill over gross. You got that samosa pump going on. I like it.
So now I'm pulling back a little bit, but I'm still doing the one body part per day split, like the bro split.
Yeah.
And dude, it's great for me, man. Like I did arms today, and ended up getting about 8 sets in for buys, 8 sets in for tries. And I'm what I'm exercising really, really getting back into, man, is the close grip bench for tries.
Oh, love it. Love it. Yeah.
It's a real compoundy movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You find you don't really have to get too heavy with that either. It's just like once you unrack the weight, it's like everything just goes right through the triceps and like the upper pec area, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
it takes hardly no weight at all. I love that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one. I do arms on Thursdays.
Okay,
and so I don't end up doing close grip bench press, like really consistently on that day. I'd like to be able to.
Yeah.
Because it's my favorite thing. I should find a way to include it, because then on Friday is like push-pull day. And I don't want to make my triceps all completely fried. I can't push nothing.
Right.
So I save any kind of that flat pressing for that day instead. So I'm going to have to rearrange something along the ways, because I do miss doing those. Now you got the engines are turning. And I'm like, man, I miss those.
They're cool, man. Yeah, because it's kind of like more that compound feel. And it's like a good bang for your buck exercise. If you're not doing a lot, then make sure the exercise, like the opposite of that, I would think would be like a tricep dumbbell extension. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not really, it's okay.
or like kickbacks or something. You're like, nah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, that's what I meant. Like a dumbbell kickback.
Yeah. It looks cool when girls do it, at the gym,
Right.
In their little outfits. And I'm like, hey, that must work pretty good.
Yeah.
You try it and you're like, this is awful. What am I doing?
Yeah, you can't really stabilize it much and all of that.
Like, I don't look half as sexy doing it unless these girls do. What the hell?
Yeah. So I'm just trying to get the diet, plugged back in now. But like not being well, I also don't feel like cutting the food way back is a great idea. You know what I mean? So
you got to find a nice balance of enough calories that you're not like, potentially make yourself more sick. You got to have enough. Once you get cold, what do they say? You got to feed a cold and starve a flu. You know what I mean? Is that what they say?
I don't know if any of it's true, but
yeah.
And I took a break from the Retta too for the week. So
okay, because you didn't take it with you.
Yeah, I didn't take it with me. And realistically, if I took a shot before I left, it's not like it wasn't in my system. But doing it twice a week, splitting into two doses, I got like a little behind. And then I waited a couple days after I got back and I just took it again, So back on the Retta. And my supplement reviews, it's all going to be today about like things to bounce you back after you've had like a little bit of a dip, be it getting sick or having to travel, or maybe just had like a layoff for a couple weeks because you got busy at work.
Yeah.
So that, when we get to that today, that's kind of where my focus is. So
that's funny that you say that, because my review's got something similar too. It's like once you've been so depleted in that contest state, just a few little things to just help you bounce back a little bit. Some of the important stuff maybe nobody really thinks about, like like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the show, and even on the Sunday morning,
Yeah. Well, I look forward to that. But tell me about your training. What's going on, man? Because I mean, you had to, like, what did you do different going into the show? And I know you had to travel because you competed. You're in Tennessee, and you drove to Iowa, right?
That's right. I drove out to Dubuque, Iowa. It's about a 9.5 hour drive.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Dubuque.
I didn't know if it's like Dubuque or...
You never know. You never know with Iowans. You could be saying it completely wrong, and they're like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Go back to Tennessee. Training is good, man. I mean, once you get down in that final like week and a half, is training really ever good?
You look good. No matter what your training's like, you look good in the mirror for 10 minutes after you're done.
Yeah. No, that's true. Once the pump sets in, training is fun, but it's like the visual. The visual is fun, It's like once you get lean enough and you get that pump and all the striations are going and the veins are out, that looks cool. But when you're trying to bench 225 and you're used to getting, 25, 30 reps with it, and you're barely eking out 12, 13 reps, you're like, God, training sucks. What is wrong with me,
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Yeah.
I have to jump in real quick because I just looked at the live stream. We were ignoring everybody.
Oh my God. What the hell?
Ron Partlow's with us.
Get out of here.
Let's talk Marshall amps. And then he said those close grip bench for tries. So he's been following along. And then from there, him and Negs are just talking. And he said, it's like we don't even exist. Are they? He's gonna ignore his fans like this.
Oh my God.
Listen, Ron, Marshall amps. That's a different channel. I'm sorry. Oh, but you got your amps in the background. So
yeah,
you guys could probably do a whole podcast on that, right?
Man, Ron, these Marshall amps, they would blow your mind. That first one up there with the little guy on it, you see the little hand there?
Yeah.
That's just a Marshall Origin amp, but it's been modded to sound like a 50-watt Plexi.
Ooh, I don't even know what that is, but I like it.
It's okay. It doesn't. If you know the sound of rock and roll from the 70s and early 80s, that's it. That's it right there. Oh. That one, yeah. And the one below it is a vintage modern one. It's also a modded Plexi, basically, is what it is. So
these things aren't like out of the box, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, this one here, that middle one, that one is basically modded from the shop.
Oh,
but the one on top, that one somebody went mod crazy on it, and I was like, I have to have it.
You're kidding me.
Oh, it's probably one of my best ones I have. It's a monster. Yeah,
that is cool, man.
Ron, if Ron ever came here, boy, we would blow this house up with some Marshall tones.
Nice. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I had to let Ron know that we saw his message.
Yeah, I'm looking now too. Hey, everybody. Hey, what's up? What's up, fellas? What's up? What's happening over here?
We got Nags with us. Yep.
Yeah, right on.
Yep.
All right. I got Plexi sexy. That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling me though, so training, wasn't the greatest going into the show.
Yeah. I mean, I just get weak. Very much so weak, and it's just like the weights that you're used to handling, forget about it, And I changed the training around so that's more focused on like good quality reps, and not anything at all to do with the weight that I was handling 8 weeks ago or whatever, I know some people can do that. I don't know how they do that, man, but shit, when you're on 1,300 calories a day, and
I think that's part of it, man. Is that if you were to diet like this now and go through this phase and then get to the conditioning you want and then be able to add more food back in, bring the cardio down, that's where I think then the strength comes back.
Yeah.
And you can hold that. And I think that's where that's one of the things I never used to do years and years back. Like 2010, the whole game plan was to get absolutely peeled so that you were at your absolute leanest like 1 week out from the show, and then you cut all the then you cut all the training out, and and you added in a bunch of food and cut the water and hoped that you were full enough. Versus I feel like nowadays, man, my MO is to get somebody ready 5 weeks out.
Yeah.
And feed them up, man, and relax, and feel good, and train hard, and all of that. So
I didn't have enough time to go into all of that. I mean, if I had any more time, I mean, I did get to the point where I hit that magic pocket right around the 8-week mark, which is I only had basically 1 week left before the show, So it was like I had 1 week to just kind of fuck off a little bit in the gym and eat a little McDonald's here and there, really try to fill out, but. The workouts that final week is just like a lot of pump stuff, just pump work, moving food through, a lot of like supersets if you can do that, if you've got the energy for all that, and volumizing the muscle bellies really is all I can, compare it to, it's not training, but they are pretty good workouts.
You don't want to draw a bunch of inflammation into the muscle, a bunch of water and all that.
And the worst thing that can happen is like a tear, God forbid, or something, right? Knocking wood.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. So
what's
you can't mess around with dehydrated muscle bellies, trying to press a 140 dumbbells or something. It's just not a good idea.
Ask Jean-Pierre Fuchs about that, right?
it sounds like you've gone robotic. Uh-oh. Did you pause? Did you fall out?
I've got trying to reconnect to make sure you have a stable connection.
Oh no.
Do you hear me? Are we here still? Am I here still?
There
we go.
You're coming back.
I'm back.
Holy shit. All right. Yeah,
good. It happens sometimes, man.
Yeah.
So what's going on with training moving forward now? Like what are your goals? What are you going to do next?
Just about, I mean, it kind of remains the same at this point. Like I go back to whatever I was doing 8 weeks ago, you know what I mean? And just grind away until I can't do it no more, kind of thing.
Okay.
So I still train 7 days a week, you know. I might take Sunday off, which is because usually the Lord's Day, right? It's usually like an active rest day for me. Yeah. You know, I just go in the gym and just different machines I would never usually use, and just like 3 sets of 8 to 10, you know, just to get food moving through. But as we get closer to that show day, man, those Sundays are real nice just to lay around, do nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Just get your cardio in, and that's all you can do. But,
so are you one and done? Just the one show and like you're going to hang it up, or what's going on now?
We're going to go to Tennessee State here in 8 weeks. So
I knew that answer. I was just trying to, be a
good segue.
Yeah.
Good segue. Yeah. So I got to keep going, keep grinding away, and, get hardened up. And, traditionally I'm used to doing like 16, 20 week, preps.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just jump into a show traditionally after 8.5 weeks of dieting, but I was to a point where I was just like, this is just going to be fun. I haven't done this in 17 years. I need to get my feet wet. And what better place to do this amongst friends, family, like people I know, people that care. It was awesome. It was an awesome time, man. So, but this next one is, the full prep, right?
Okay.
Full 16 weeks. And I plan to be very sharp, all things considering, and as long as things go great, I plan to be as sharp as I can possibly be, because I'm going to need to be. All right, this is the Tennessee State show. This is the big one here. So
yeah. So now, is that 16 weeks from now, or what did you?
Since the start of when I started dieting altogether.
Okay, I got you. So you have like another 8 weeks then, or what are we talking? Where are we? Say
again.
Now? How long do you have left now?
So 8 weeks. 8 weeks altogether, right? Yeah. Yeah. Right. 8 weeks. Yeah.
You could do a lot in 8 weeks, man.
Oh yeah. I plan to.
I mean, realistically, I feel like you weren't, you weren't that far out of shape. It's not like you were trying to push for size and, you know what I mean, like bloated up. But when you started dieting, so it's kind of cool, man, that you were able to just like decide, hey, I'm going to jump in a show. And it might not have been your best look, your best condition, but it was freaking great, and you were able to hang, so I think that's pretty cool.
Hey, I listen, I was going into it with, win, lose, or draw. I don't care. This is just, I want to do this. It's fun, and just do the best I can within the 8.5 weeks I had time to do it, because I was just getting ready for like a photo shoot with my wife. That's the whole reason why I started dieting anyways, right? That's
right. Yeah.
So, but it started coming off real quick. And then I started hitting more poses and stuff, and I was like, shit, I think I can do this, So, yeah, I was like, what the hell? Let's go for it. Timing couldn't have been better, So training is what it is, man. Just right now, with a little bit more food in me now, just a little bit. It's not that much more. I can get a pump. That's pretty cool. I did legs today. Wiped me the fuck out, man.
I bet, man.
Just I did start off with extensions and curls, just to warm it up, just get blood in there. 30 reps.
Yeah,
like 4 or 5 rounds of that, and then I go straight to the leg press, because the gym there at Carbon Performance has 2 leg presses. One of them's they're both Arsenal.
Yep.
So, and those they're great. There's some of the best leg press I've ever tried, because I'm not traditionally a leg presser. I don't know. I can't fit those things.
Right.
I'm just not good at leg pressing. They feel terrible to me all the time, no matter the machine. But these ones are really effective. I'm really surprised. So the one that they've got 2 right beside each other. One's your traditional, it's a sled, it's whatever it is. And then the other one beside it, it's basically a carbon copy, and it's a sled, but it's split down the middle.
Oh yeah.
So you can get like, one leg at a time kind of thing, or you can lock it out and it can be just like the other ones, so
yeah.
But they're like the perfect angle, the perfect back support and like butt support. And we were watching that video with Terrence Ruffin training his legs. Remember that? He was doing leg presses, and he had this foam block under his butt.
Yeah.
I tried that. I tried that, and it works like a charm. It's like a booster seat for little guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You're not that little, you know.
Well,
but,
you know.
But I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And it helps you to stabilize your low back that way, too, I think, better.
Yeah, yeah. And it for whatever reason, it shifts the foot placement just perfectly to where I need them to be.
Okay.
And it just becomes like quads and hamstring dominant rather than just quad dominant for me.
I like that.
Really
I like
cool.
that. All right. So training sounds like
you fall off again?
Huh.
Oh, no. Did we lose you? Scott McNally, we are live. We are live. Well,
I apologize, guys.
that's okay. There you are.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. I don't know why my internet's doing weird stuff.
Hey, I just looked at the chat, and Nag says, I'm going to have to train my OG BNR shirt today. Reminisce about better time. Aw.
Better times. These are the best times, Nags. We got
Right now.
back on stage, you know.
Right now, these are the best times. That's right.
They are. They are. It doesn't get better than this, you know. Technology at bodybuilding is better. The gear is better and more available. Food is better, and there's more availability of like sugar-free options, and protein powders are flavored better than they've ever been.
Oh,
so
God.
You're living in the best time ever of bodybuilding right now.
I had a conversation with a young man the other day at the gym, and he was like, so how long you been training? I was like, I've been training for 31 years straight. You know, I've had 1 week off in all that time. Yeah. And he's like, and he was just like, you know, he's a young guy, he's like, you know, mid-20s. And he was just like, geez, I can only imagine the stuff that you've seen in 3 decades of training when it comes to like magazines and supplements and, you know, all the different trends and stuff that were going on from year to year and decade to decade.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, listen, when I first started training, the protein powders were awful.
Yeah, they mix like flour. They tasted a little just slightly better than flour.
You needed a blender, and then there's no shaking, no nothing up. You needed a blender. You needed to fill the whole thing up with water because it would not mix this concrete. You know, and like the only way you could make it taste good is by throwing in a bunch of honey and milk and all this other shit that, you know, it just makes it like basically a mass gainer shake. You know, and I was like, well, you don't know how good you have it today, or you can just throw 2 scoops of delicious chocolatey whey isolate into a cup, just a little bit of water, shake it up, and down it goes.
Perfectly.
Just dissolves. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, man, you don't know how good you have it because the stuff we had to put up with wasn't easy. You know.
No, yeah. Nags was kind of there. He's been around for a while. He's been around since like the Middle Ages of our lifeline in bodybuilding. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. What else? What else we got?
Let's jump into our supplement review because you were about to segue into that. You know, let's just go ahead and do it then.
All right. Yeah. So, okay, this is not my traditional supplement review. A lot of times we'll have like one thing, like a new protein brownie or something that we're gonna try. Do you remember the time I did a review of cricket protein?
Oh God, I do. It was mortifying. It was mortifying.
The worst, man.
I felt so bad for you.
It was fun though. Like I took a bite and chewed it up, and it was so gross, and I forced myself to take another bite. You know, for the show.
You were a trooper. Yeah.
It was weird. I think I got like a leg stuck in my teeth at one. It just, you know, it was gross.
Yeah.
But so here's my thought. You know, after you've had some sort of downtime, be it like me getting a cold and having traveled, right? Or maybe you have like 2 weeks back to back where your boss is like, we got to keep you 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. You know, sleep sucks, whatever. Things come up and we kind of get thrown off our square. And sometimes it's like you get back in and you're not feeling your best. So I'm amping up all my basic health supplements. Number one, vitamin D3 is at 40,000 units. That's with 400 micrograms of vitamin K. And what else do we have? I'm taking C. I usually don't take C. So vitamin C, one of the negatives for us in bodybuilding can be that if your hematocrit gets high easily, it will help you to better store iron, and that helps you to trigger more hematocrit. Triggers your, high ferritin.
So make it more.
Yeah, will help you make more blood. So vitamin C is a great supplement, but I don't overdo it because of that. I don't supplement with a ton of it, but I'm taking a couple grams of vitamin C a day, and all that other stuff. Ubiquinol, 400 milligrams, which is like a high dose of ubiquinol, but I'm telling you, man, it makes a big difference cognitively. And then the fun stuff. So the funny thing is, man, and actually I'm due for my dose of SLU at about 3 p.m. So I'm going to take that right now. The funny thing is that all through that trip, I'm not getting sick, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if it's the SLU, Vij. I wonder if it's doing something to my mitochondria.
Yeah,
you
really
know,
boosting them, giving them
boosting
superpowers, yeah.
I'm immune, And I'm finally, we get home and it's like a day later and I'm like, yeah, I actually made a note in my phone. I'm like, mitochondria keep from getting sick, ? And then like 3 hours later, my throat starts hurting. But I was ready.
Son of a
I was
bitch.
so ready to talk about how I didn't get sick. And so it turns out SLU doesn't make you impervious.
But it does delay shit.
Maybe.
Right?
I mean, that is possible, right?
That's right.
So
definitely a possibility.
the SLU has given me such a tremendous boost, both cognitively, breathing, my cardio endurance, all that has been fantastic. Energy levels increased, but like coming back from being sick, I'm still had dealt with like feeling kind of rough, right? So as of today, I added in MOTC at 1 milligram per day.
Yeah, I've heard about this. What is this?
So it's another mitochondrial enhancer.
Okay.
I can't like go into the deep science. I'm sure if you like search MOTC Vigorous Steve, you can find a whole video on that. You know,
I'm sure I can. Yeah, right.
But what I can tell you is I've seen various dosing, and in some cases it's like 5 milligrams 3 times a week or something like that. I've also heard people say, "Oh, well, it breaks down almost instantly after you mix it. You can't store it." So I'm going to tell you this. I have used it intermittently, just on specific workouts, and I'll only use it at like 1 milligram per day. I took 2 today, actually, and I'm going to try a little bit higher dose right now. I'm going to do 2 milligrams every day. I can tell a difference in my energy levels when I use it, and that includes like improving my workouts and stuff. But I'll have a vial just kind of float around the fridge, mixed longer term. It'll be mixed for, a month, and I use it on and off. Every time I use it, I do notice something from it. So I'm going to throw that out there just for anybody who is questioning, those things. Also, methylene blue. So I found that I can't use methylene blue long term. I start getting real spacey from it.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I think it's like my serotonin starts building up too high. But intermittently, it's a great supplement for me. It helps my breathing, helps my endurance, and it helps just like cognitively overall. I can tell the difference. So I'm adding that methylene blue in at 10 milligrams right now. And that's the main stuff, really. That's the main stuff. I'm still using like a half a scoop of pre-workout, the Mind FK from Mutant, which that stuff is absolutely, it's the best. I will tell you guys that. You can use code Ron or Dusty.
Yeah, that's right. For that. And get on the gear.
All the gear. So yeah, that's my review. And then one more, I'm boosting up my creatine, and I'm trying to get up above 10 grams per day. I've got this little scooper.
Yeah.
So it's
that's like the old Celtec days, man. Yeah, it was 10 grams.
Right. So here's the deal. It gets into muscle a lot more easily than it does help you with your brain. But creatine is fantastic for cognitive function. Yeah,
I've read a lot about that.
It's beneficial to stave off Alzheimer's, possibly even. I saw one research study where they took people that were sleep deprived, and a 30-gram dose of creatine showed an immediate benefit like that day. So I'm trying to keep the creatine dose a little bit higher. A lot of times I'll do 5 grams, somewhere in there, but I'm trying to get at least 10 grams per day. And I'm mixing it in my oatmeal because it's flavorless, right?
Yeah, a little crunchy, It's going to be a little crunchy.
I have micronized, and it's like a fine powder from True Nutrition, by the way.
So it dissolves kind of in your...
There's no crunch to it at all.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting, man. That's pretty smart, actually.
Yeah, it's the Pure creatine is the one that I use. It's like $5 more than the regular, and it's still a monohydrate. You don't need to get any of the fancy creatines or creatine. No. Have you heard people pronounce it creatine?
I think it depends where you go. I think it's different from state to state.
Yeah, I generally say creatine.
I feel like Canadians say it different too.
Do they?
I think they're more of a creatine.
I think most people are creatine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victoria told me she hadn't heard anybody pronounce it creatine like since the 90s.
Well,
she was just a baby in the 90s, so
yeah,
just that.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I get a lot of crap about that on the show because I often
I know, I
say
remember.
Creatine,
Creatine,
guys,
yeah.
creatine.
Maybe it's just a Michigan thing. Maybe y'all from Michigan.
I don't know, man. I think it's maybe the way I just saw it in the magazine or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, that's my supplement review, and I'm just like, I took all these different little things that I found to work for me, and now I'm stacking them all together hard.
Why not?
Pushing through my my day. Good for cognitive focus at work. Good for training. Good for hanging with you.
Yeah.
And being lively on the podcast.
There you go. And for fighting off, any remainder cold sticking around. You know, it's always going to help.
That,
Yeah, it's every bit. One thing I didn't do this time, which I've done in every prep before, is I didn't use any creatine the last 2 weeks. No creatine at all.
Okay. Yeah. You had kept it in previously, right?
Yeah. I just, I forgot. Eventually, I just forgot because I was, doing it first thing in the morning, along with like an electrolyte drink. And I stopped doing the electrolyte drink because I feel like it was giving me like stomach acid problems and shit. And so I stopped doing it, and as a result, I stopped doing the creatine too. It just, I just didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then once I got to like the final week, and I was like, typically I would start creatine loading that final week.
Right.
But I was just like, you know what? I've never competed on gear before.
There's that.
And so why don't I just give it a shot without any creatine and see how it goes? Because as a natty, creatine was your gear.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, gear or creatine, I would definitely pick the gear every time.
Yeah, pick the Anadrol. Yeah, go for that instead.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give it a roll without any creatine this time and just see how it goes. And I can't really tell a difference, but Deca or creatine, what are you going to choose?
You can't tell a difference.
So, but this next time around, I think I want to throw some creatine around that last 2 weeks for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and 10 grams sounds good. I like that. Just like the old Celtec, 10 grams, good. 70 grams of sugar and 10 grams of creatine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lemon lime flavor. It's the best. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update too with the Reta.
Oh yeah.
Because as the weeks progress, I don't know if I just get more like resistant to the medication or the peptide itself, or I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You get used to the GLPs.
Yeah,
I noticed that too.
So I've really had to like increase to like keep it moving. Like I'm up to, in that final week of prep, I was up to like 6 milligrams a week.
Okay, let's go back because
I was dividing it into 2 shots, morning and then right before bed.
Yeah.
And so I found that's where I'm at right now too, right around 6 milligrams, like 5.6 to 6 milligrams a week. It's like 0.8 milligram shots here and there. But I hope the trend doesn't continue because it's expensive, right? So, but if it works, it works. And so far it's been working. I don't have any complaints, but I will say that for me personally, I've really had to ramp it up as the calories were getting more and more restricted, and in order to like harness a lot more body fat for energy expenditure and that sort of thing. Did I lose you again, Scott McNally? God damn it. These goddamn live things. So I'm on here by myself right now. I'll just keep talking. How's everybody doing in the chat? Huh? Let's see what's happening. I wonder if Ron's still here. Yeah.
Live.
You got to do the Smith machine is great for close grip bench press. I'm a big fan, especially now, and especially as like contest time rolls around, where you don't want to be putting yourself in any kind of danger. Bench press can be a little bit scary sometimes. Got a text message here from Scott. I think he's coming back here. There you are, man.
I'm back.
Detroit's having some issues with their Wi-Fi up in there, huh?
I guess so. I'm sorry about that, man. I'm gonna have to call my internet provider and let them know what's going on here.
So I was just giving you the update on the Reta. Have you found that people can be get a little more resistant to it as the weeks go by?
So I wanted to back you up just a minute because I think that your dosing that you initially said you were using on the last podcast you said it differently, a little bit differently than what you actually were doing. So what were you doing initially? Because we had some people, it was like high.
I started off a little higher.
Okay.
I did start off higher, and then you know, one day I felt nauseated, so I was like, fuck, I got to bring this back down. And it was the day after I carb loaded.
Oh yeah.
You know, so, and I wasn't ready for that, and I was like, this ain't happening again. So I was using 0.6 milligrams 4 times a week.
That's not bad. Yeah.
When I first started off, you know, and I did get caught some crap for doing that, and then I dropped it down to 0.35 ish.
Okay.
Daily, and that seemed to help right away.
Wait,
you know, and then
0.35 milligrams.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then did that for a couple of weeks, and then I realized I started upping it because like some of that hunger was like coming back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I better up this a little bit more. And it got to a point where I was doing, you know, 0.4 in the morning, 0.4 at night, which is 0.8 altogether. Then that brings you up to about 5.6 milligrams a week. You know, and sometimes I would even take an extra shot just because I was really hungry.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
But man, I can tell you, like, it is definitely a game changer as far as like harnessing body fat and getting shit done quickly.
Yeah. So I've noticed that since the like semaglutide came out, that you initially have a stronger effect from like even a low dose, and then over time you get used to it and you can build that dose up. But then even like people who are peaked out, like just gen pop people that are going to these clinics, I hear them like maxing out on the semaglutide, and then 6-8 months later they're like, you know what, it's not giving me the same effect as it used to. And you know, and so I have seen that you do get used to a given dose, and I think your digestion starts speeding back up. I notice it constipates the heck out of me no matter what I do with water intake, no matter what I do with enzymes, and even HCl. I have to really watch that and use a lot of magnesium citrate to.
That's interesting, yeah.
To keep up with it. But you know what? I notice though my digestion does tend to slow when I'm dieting anyway, and I think a lot of it has to do with like how limited my carbs end up.
I found it's actually helped my guts, man.
Yeah.
Like my number 2s have been so smooth and very consistent.
Okay.
I haven't had to use any fiber. I haven't used a fiber drink in weeks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We all have such unique responses to everything. Ron says, I like hearing about the wacky new sups I haven't tried. Experimental chemicals.
Yes.
That's
chemical
right.
warfare, Ron. That's what this is.
It is chemical. That's all it is. That's all it is. Dieting is just a bunch of Retatrutide and T3. Throw a bunch at it. See where we go.
Yeah.
Hey, Dadum, good evening. Evening from UK. How about that?
Nice.
Huh?
It's getting pretty late there. He should be thinking about his sleep hygiene, as the kids say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start wrapping it up there, Dadum.
Looks like Nags was on my team here. He says maybe 2 leg presses that I've ever used that felt decent. That's exactly my experience in 31 years of bodybuilding, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've only found 2 that have been any worth a shit.
I remember that because when we used to, so I did, I think it was 2013 Central States. And after that, we had been talking and, you know, training together in the gym some. And you came out to that show. You came out and Carrie Cameron came out. And
that's right.
We all went to Cracker Barrel after the show. I have a picture of that somewhere. And that was the first time I ate at Cracker Barrel in my life. That was fun.
I'm glad I introduced you to that place, man. I can't believe that.
I don't know if I would have gone otherwise, you know?
Oh, my God.
But
oh, my God.
I remember, though, like, what about this place? And you're like, oh, it's real good. They have pecan pancakes. And I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we started training legs after that. I was like, okay, my next goal, grow my legs. And you helped me improve my squat technique. Like, it changed.
I remember that.
That was I would say, Vij, that was a pivotal moment for my training because you showed me how to squat in my quads more versus previously my squat was more like a power lifter's.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, like an ass squatter.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Although it didn't grow my glutes, like it just went to the hips, I guess. You know?
Hips and adductors. Some people just goes right there. You know.
But we did that, and we even moved to like the reverse banded squats. You remember that?
Oh, well, I remember that.
And we would like overload it like crazy, and it was heavy as hell in the hole. You know what I mean?
We went crazy with those bands, man. We were doing reverse bands. We were doing restrictive bands, all kinds of different bands. It looked like a damn gym, like a gymnastics, some setup of some kind in the gym, and we were squatting.
Guys, Vij got the Mountain Dog band pack, and like I couldn't afford them at the time, but Vij bought them. It was like $72 or something, $108.
Yeah,
and we put bands that were like every single thing. Let's figure out how we could band this or reverse band it.
Yeah, I would wrap one around my head. I was like, this is the light one. Yeah. And then the other one would go around my hands or grab dumbbells with it. I was like, I can really feel these dumbbells, these rubber bands.
That didn't really happen, guys. He's exaggerating. But it was one step away from that.
I could see it happening.
Yeah,
I could.
Yeah, we were one day away.
We were getting carried away, that's for sure.
Yeah. But but I remember that though, and occasionally I'd be like, well, why don't we do some leg press? Because I love leg press, and you're like, I'm not doing leg press, so I'd do that by myself.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
just the way it goes, man. JVOV says, JJ Ov?
I think it's Yav. Yav. I figured that out. He comments a lot with us. Yeah, he's a good dude.
2 silent J's. I like that. That's good. He says, hey, if you try taking larger single doses a little less often, so maybe the weekly dose won't get out of hand. Yeah.
No, there is something to be said about you get that sharper peak, and I do think there is an element of it being stronger when you take it less often. So you could experiment, and see if there's a difference. Try it for a week, and if you don't like it, go back,
Yeah. I mean, now would be the best time to do it, because I'm still like 8 weeks away from the Tennessee State, and I can just experiment a little bit more with that right now. I might give that a shot. Why not?
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah. The only reason why I went with a microdosing anyways was because I didn't want to suffer any of the side effects.
Yeah.
I don't want to get constipated. I don't want to get nauseated. That shit is the worst.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to avoid that altogether. And I remember, Skip talking about using those microdoses going to be lessen the chances of that sort of thing happening while still, through the week, still hitting that dose that you want. So I give it a shot now. I feel like I'm pretty resistant at this point.
Yeah.
And I can get away with like a 3 milligram shot. A couple days.
Oh God!
Just do it again.
Yeah, that's pretty hefty.
I'll try it.
That's pretty hefty.
I'm crazy like that. This is chemical warfare, man. You know what I mean?
I'm up at still the same. So I went back to my normal dosing, which is just a little. It's right around 1 milligram it's every 8 days. Every 4 days. 1 milligram every 4 days. So 2 milligrams every 8 days.
Okay, wow.
And that's enough for me, man, really.
That's why I wish that was enough for me. Everything I do, it's got to be a lot more. I'm like my body just destroys any kind of medication wants to go in my body. Like, I'll just use a little bit and destroy the rest over here.
Yeah.
Go on, put some more in, see what happens.
Yeah. All right, so what else do we have here?
You know what? Let's do shout outs real quick. And then we'll jump into the contest review. Right, this will be the Scott McNally bodybuilding coaching critique.
It'll be fun
of the Nerds performance at the Dubuque NPC Mighty Muscle on the Mississippi.
Yeah, so we got Vijay's video and some pictures and stuff. So this will be fun.
Yeah, so hopefully the listeners and the viewers enjoy this because this is a rare opportunity, right? And we don't always get to do something like this.
Yeah,
especially not on this show. All right, let's go. Shout-outs. Ready? Cue that music and go. All right, shout-out to The Lolly.
Oh, yeah.
And shout-out to Lindsay's8849. She dropped a nice little comment for us in the last show. Shout-out to The Mentionator, my old buddy from the Quad Cities. He just had a show, too. He just competed, too. And Alan Minch gets shredded.
Yeah.
Lean.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see, I'd like to know how you do. Let us know how you did, Alan. Just put it in the comments. Just let us know. Shout out to Steve B 4077. Shout out to Sal Di Catarino 8909. He's one of those guys who's like, you know what, for the algorithm. Shout
Good
out.
for him.
So,
good for him.
Absolutely. We like that.
Thank you.
You know what? Shout out to my nephew, Logan Beaver, who competed with me at the show in this past weekend. He did great. He won the True Novice.
Yep.
In men's physique.
Okay.
And then I thought he was going to win the open class that he was in too.
Yeah, really.
Because they were comparing him heavy. They moved him to the center.
Okay.
And they compared them real heavy. And the bigger guy won. He still placed second, and it was a deep lineup. There was like 14 guys.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he did really good. It was a big class.
Men's physique, and he's a taller guy, right?
Yeah. All these guys. I don't know where these giants are coming from. Everyone's like 6'3", men's physique.
Jeez. And this is his first show. How did he like it?
He had a wonderful time.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And you know what? This is one for the memory banks. You know, he can always be like, my first show I did with my uncle.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
You know, I had him oil me up. He's a great oil boy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He gets in there and all the crevices. He's like, no, this area here needs more shine. Hold on, stay still. I was like, man, I like you. This is great. I wish I had you, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So shout out to my longtime client Aubrey Johnson. She looks stunning, beautiful. She's a figure gal. She won her 50s plus class.
All right.
She's 50 years old. Yeah.
She doesn't look 50.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
I saw the picture you sent me of you standing with her. She looks young. She looked great too. So
Yeah. I met one of her daughters.
Yeah.
And I was like, what high school do you go to? And she's like, I'm 30. I was like,
so it's the genetics. It's the runs in the family.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody. If you want to shout out in the show, just say so. Just drop a comment in the comment section, and we're happy to oblige. We're always trying to encourage that. Shout outs for the next show.
Yes. And the Lolly who commented, that's a client of mine. He's big dude and taller,
right, cool.
like 6'1", 6'2", something like that.
So he's a giant too.
Oh yeah. And we pushed him up to like 317, I think, pounds, something like that. And now he's off everything. And he's holding at he was high 170s, maybe, 270s, 280. And now we've dieted him down without anything at this point, and he's at I think 271 today, and just coming down nice and slow. He's at abs at that weight, so he's gonna probably be I'm gonna guess 250s lean, somewhere in there. And then when we add the GH in, he's just he's one of those guys that all the GH goes to the places you want it to,
right in the muscle bellies.
Yeah, and so we're gonna add a little more of that in. Boom, he'll fill back out. He'll be probably 275 again. He'll
be 290. 290 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and really, man, I'll show you his pictures at some point. Dude could be a pro. Considering
shoot me some text me over some pics. I'm interested.
I will.
He sounds like a goddamn Samson Dowda, 6 foot, 300 pounds.
He's only been training super hard for a few years, 2-3 years now, and he went from 200 pounds to this. So. He's got a hard work ethic. Nothing will stop him. Plus, he's got a busy job, family, all that. So it's he's doing all the things that he needs to do. If anything, Vij, he's one of those guys that I need to tether him back a little bit. You know what I mean? Hey, you don't need to focus that much on bodybuilding right now. Relax, just relax a little bit. Eat a cheeseburger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like a stud to me.
Yes. All right. So we're going to do this thing, Vij? What do we got?
Let's do it. Okay, critique away, Scott McNally,
right.
Bodybuilding coach. Just go ahead and tear me a new asshole if you would.
All right. Hopefully we don't lose signal again here. I am going to share. So this is you dieting for not that long, really. And you've been retired for years now. So you've been
17 years.
17 years bodybuilding for fun. And, you decided, hey, I'm going to jump into a contest. And let's see.
Yeah, really, it was about 8 weeks. I don't count the last week as any kind of fat loss thing. So
all right, so let's see what we got here.
We can't put the sound on, but I will say that my posing music was a section of "Still the Night" from Whitesnake's song.
Great choice there. I like that pose. Let's just freeze frame that right there to start.
Thanks, man. That's a Bob Paris classic right there.
It is. You know who else does that?
Frank Zane?
Terrence Ruffin.
Terrence Ruffin.
He got it
course.
from yes. He got it from Paris. He did.
I believe that. Yep.
You don't see that one too often. No,
I got that one from Ron Love. That was a
Ron Love move, huh?
Yep.
I like that. Now listen, I'm going to tell you one. Here's my first critique right now. We need to get the straps of your trunks need to be higher. You gotta.
Yeah, I realize that too.
Yeah. You want them to. What did Andrea call that? Your cum gutters. We need to get them to follow that line. And for everybody at home, what that does is it elongates the leg, and what ends up happening is that if your trunks are straight across, it kind of cuts you in half. And you see a lot of classic guys do that because it's more of a boxy fit At least the old trunks were. You know, the new ones do have more angle to them, but you want it to fit like a V. So for that neck show, that's an easy fix. And if they don't stay there, it's an improper fitting trunk, but you can always use a little bit of suit glue to hold it in place.
Ah, yeah, that's your ego. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I definitely overlooked.
Well, it was a lot. And
Arnold.
That's a good pose.
There's
right
the Arnold
there.
pose.
I like that. Look at those pecs, guys. That Vij, you are all pecs and arms right here.
Hey, all right.
I mean, pecs really do look strong here. It's and you've
cool,
been
man.
a strong presser historically, haven't you?
It's taken a while, but it got there. It's definitely a stronger body part for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is from a stage left, so it's not really dead on center.
Oh,
so
that's a great shot right there.
That is a Larry Scott special right there.
I like that one. You helped me hit that pose before. I was trying to think of some new poses to do at a show, and you had suggested this one to me, so I messed around with it. It doesn't look as good on me as it does on you. I didn't have enough lats at the time, I think, was the problem.
Yeah.
But
you were shredded, and once you've shredded, everything looks good.
yeah. So lower back there's nothing there. There's literally, you have nothing left on your low back. So your lower back is in shape. I would wonder about flexing the glutes. That would be, my thought would be hit the glutes. And a lot of times what I tell people is after you've set your legs up and you kick your hamstrings back, then I suggest you push the hips forward. And when you do that, that'll activate the glutes. And obviously glutes aren't completely peeled, but you're not going to get that with 8 weeks of dieting. You know what I mean? It's and especially the first 4, you weren't even thinking of doing a show. At least you were just planning to look better and be your best for a photo shoot. So,
and in my defense, my glutes are like, there's a lot of loose skin there.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a lot of like old man ass that, fat that's just been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Hasn't been used as storage, like for fuel or anything.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice one on you. Let me go back a little bit because you hit a bunch of them. And I don't want to overlook your back there because you it's from the side, so we don't see an ideal angle, but you do have good V shape, and I can tell from here. Nice V shape. Nice bicep peaks. Everything up top, looks really good. Very mature, Oh,
I appreciate that. Yeah. Bill liked that shot. I sent that shot to him.
It looked good. What about that lat spread? Can you push that out a little bit more, you think? You know how, because there's where you stop. What if I bet you if you push that spine, you know what I'm saying? Push the spine out just a little bit more, you'll blow that up. Because I think you have more.
Roll the chest up a little bit. Is that what you mean? Like
push your spine toward the audience.
Towards the audience. So round out the back.
Yeah, round out the back more.
Okay.
And I think that would open you up even more because you see how you're seeing the detail of the lats. And I think it was Ron and Dusty said it recently. It's not a detail pose, right? It's a think you have
width pose.
Your back looks good and it looks big here, but I think you have even more back to give to the audience. That would be my critique there.
Cool. Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah. And then I like you start hitting stuff fast here. Like that looks cool. And then you go into side try. That looks good. Nice waist. That waist really is what makes these shots here.
Yeah, you got to have a tapered waist, otherwise half of them don't work.
And that there is a great shot on you. That's possibly one of your best poses. Front double, I think, is really good. And I think that's a really nice pose on you, too. Really nice just overall shape from top to bottom.
Thanks, man. That one's a fun one to hit.
Boom. And that's a fun one to hit, too.
Yeah. That's from the side. That's the Lavroni one, but look how I'm skinny. You know what I mean? So that one's better. This one here's going to be better. It's more straight on.
You get the traps in there, too. Your traps look jacked, man. A lot of traps.
Thanks. Yeah, I like that. There's an Arnold special right there.
Yeah, that's an Arnold special, dude. You got the biceps to make it work, too, don't you?
You got to have some bicep peak for that one.
Yeah, but that I think is right there is a great shot on you, man. Overall, are you kind of standing a little bit twisted, a little bit off center on that? Because I can't tell.
On that one, a little bit,
okay.
And then I hit it one more time where I'm more exaggerated. Like you'll see it right here.
Oh yeah.
There I'm a lot more twisted.
Oh yeah. That's good. And the bow. That's nice, man. That was good.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. So we got I gotta 8 more weeks, glutes and hamstrings will be a lot more dug out.
Yeah,
that's the goal. It's like I've done this before to where like I've really tried to like get my glutes really, really hard.
Yeah.
I don't have striations. I just don't. As lean as I could get them when I was, I don't know, 22, 23. They just don't exist. I don't know if I just genetically just don't have them. I've gotten them hard before, where there's no more jiggle. Yeah, and I had to sacrifice so much of my upper body mass to do that.
Yeah.
That it just didn't help things. Like the poses did not look good. I looked really stringy in almost everything. Yeah, you know, it's like so I sacrifice. How much do I sacrifice in order to get really, really hard glutes and dug out hamstrings? But then you got no more back left. You got no more pec left. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I gotta straddle the line. Yeah, a little bit
and
here.
I think too, because we've talked about clients like this too. Nick Vicolo had really struggled with glutes for a long time. Obviously, Nick worked on it for years to before he got his IFBB Pro card, and like we did a lot of like lower body focus, a lot of hamstring focus. And for him, back in those days, we did have to draw the line because we had pushed it too far, And then you start losing everything up top. I think that one of the benefits or one of the ways to get around it is pushing hard, having enough time to be able to do all that. You may lose everything else, but you don't push so far that you can't bring it all back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But you might be in one of those situations where, like, no matter what you do, they're just not going to be peeled, and I think that's okay.
It's okay as long as they're hard and the fat is off of them. Yeah, it's not called a back double gluten hamstring pose. It's called a back double bicep pose, after all. You know what I mean? Yeah. And back lat spread pose. So they need to look cohesive. And they don't need to look like they're out of place. You know what I mean? Everything needs to be the same level of leanness or somewhat, And you can get by. You can get by in all the poses. You got to play your genetic potential. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you got these bells and whistles on you, you work your best to keep those bells and whistles because that's what's going to take you far.
Now, I don't know who is still with us. I don't know who watched through this far into the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do have,
you might have a lot of drop-off
something I'd like to bring up. And I am going to implore our audience to vote with me. I want Vij to do classic at the Tennessee State Champions. Now, he had said, because we talked about it, you've got your reasons. You were like, I'm just a through and through bodybuilder. I would argue that classic is classic bodybuilding. So I think it would be great. True. Also, too, the glute thing, man, you can cover those mother up. Nobody has to see them.
You can't. That's right. I can wear like those black diaper shorts, right?
Yeah. Well, they are getting shorter and shorter in classic every year.
Yeah. So you're gonna see... I've seen some that go straight up your butt, and I'm like, I don't think so, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they really do. There's a major variety in how much coverage you get, but there is that, and I have used that to our advantage, where guys might not have the best glutes. If we get like even just 20% more coverage, you can still see the lines. You know what I'm saying? If they have feathering and they still look hard, but you aren't showcasing it. You aren't bringing it to their attention.
Sure,
you have just like a little bit more coverage than a thong.
Okay. Oh well, we'll leave it up to the listening audience and the viewers. If we take a poll and they suggest that that they want me to do it, I'll jump on in, man. I'll
tell you what. If you don't want Vij to do classic, then just say do bodybuilding only. But if he does do classic, he could do both, which gives you more time on stage too. So
there you go. Yeah. Then I have two posing routines.
And
is that right?
You would get to hit your favorite classic pose.
That's true.
What would you do?
No more musculars. You can't hit any most musculars though in classic.
You could for your classic pose if you wanted to. You're allowed if that was your favorite.
Probably in your posing routine you could probably do it. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I see guys do that, hit their lat spreads and everything. But
yeah, guys do it all the time. I mean, Wesley Vissers hits it all the time. Although that is the IFBB, it's not the NPC.
Yeah. So what would be your favorite classic pose?
I don't know, man. I never thought about it. I don't know. Probably like a single arm bicep, like that Larry Scott shot, or or an Arnold type shot or something.
I see a lot of guys.
It's all whatever works to my advantage as far as how my physique looks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to do something like I'm not going to try to do no victory pose or something.
Oh yeah, please don't. Nobody can do that one.
No, there's only two people who can do that, and they're done.
All right. So we let's see what we have here. Ethan says,
check it out, huh?
I'd love to see him in Classic. I agree, though, with Vij that when I eventually compete, I only want to do bodybuilding. So, yeah, more power to him. I can get that, you know.
You know, and it just never really even crossed my mind, to be honest with you. I'm just through and through bodybuilder. I mean, I competed for 13 years between the ages of 18 and 31. And there was no Classic. Classic didn't come out until I was like 37 years old.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just a new thing, and all we had was bodybuilding. That's all that we had. So I just never crossed my mind. You know. So.
Stefan's with us. He's a good bodybuilder too, and he said at my last show 2 weeks ago, the judges talked about rule changes coming to Classic trunks.
Oh, wow.
So we'll
I wonder what they're going to do.
I bet you they're going to kind of outlaw the thong because there's so much variation, dude. Some of those are literally like a thong nowadays, you know?
Dude, yes. I've seen, God, what's his name? Jose? Yosema? Manuel Yosema?
Oh, yeah,
dude
yeah.
has, I mean, he's ripped to shreds, and why not showcase it?
Yep.
But that's a straight up thong, you know?
Yeah. Yov says, yes, Classic. And Peyton, who's with us, he's in Tennessee. He said, Classic, I'll come watch since it's only an hour away.
That's right. He's right there in Chattanooga. Yep. Peyton, the show's in Murfreesboro on the July 26th.
Oh, that'd be
I would
fun,
love to see you. I would love to see you. That'd be great.
That'd be cool.
Maybe we can go out for some hibachi afterwards, huh?
Yeah. He owes you. We all owe you, as a matter of fact.
There you go.
You got a bunch of dinners coming your way. You know what I mean?
I got a free lunch.
Yeah. And Stefan's right. He said, well, Sergio can hit the myth pose, and so can Lee Priest. Those two guys.
You know who else can do is Akeem. Akeem can hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the arms on him, huh?
He's got the arms, the taper, the lats, from the front.
Yeah.
Sergio Oliva Jr., he does it, but
it's an homage to his dad.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he can do it, you know?
That's I mean, look, if his waist was 2 inches from either side, like more narrow, it would be a knockout shot for him. But I mean,
if he only had like half a
doesn't have his
chromosome
daddy's
more
waist
from his mom, or
that's
from his
right,
dad,
yeah. Too much mama's chromosomes. That's what's happening.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Anybody else we had in the comments here?
You can put up some of the still photos.
Yeah.
Scott,
Let me go to those, please. Hold on a second. We got. And then
you can do like a hardcore critique too, Just,
all right.
You take a look shot by shot.
Well, I got to see you. I think. Okay, hold on just a second. Oops, not presentation. We'll go to window, and I'm going to go to these. So here's the shots I have. We don't have any of the NPC shots yet. I think the majority of my critique I've already said.
Oh, drop off again?
No.
We'll have this all fixed up. Hey, Peyton, how you doing, man? I'm looking at the chat here.
I'm still here, guys.
Still here. Hey, Ethan, how you doing?
I'm still here, guys. I don't know if you can see me.
There you go. Peyton just said, "Hey, I'll buy your dinner." Oh, and Eva's gonna bring some sourdough bread. Oh my God!
Lucky, you're lucky.
Oh my God!
Can you see the pictures here, Vij?
I gotta bring my appetite. I've only see you and I on screen at the moment. It looks like something's trying to load.
Oh.
Is that right?
Okay, maybe we're having issues. Then I'm going to stop sharing and try it again. Can you hear me all right, though?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sometimes I don't know because I'll be talking and like, oh my, you feel like you're a ghost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is an odd feeling. Like all of a sudden, it's like something in you're like, I'm talking to myself right now.
Yeah,
I can feel it right now. So I'm just talking to myself.
Yeah. How about that? Did that work?
Yeah, we're on. All
right, good.
So that was the awards ceremony. I got my first place victory there.
It's a great shot too. I like that. And here's that most muscular trap over. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. Crab. The crab.
Yeah, that's a nice one for sure.
I like that.
Your
one.
Arnold pose.
Yes, sir.
That's a nice shot too. I'll look forward to seeing how the NPC pictures turn out here.
Yeah, because they're more, like I said, they'll be more straight on rather than at an angle.
Yeah, like this one, seeing that straight on will be a lot better,
Mm-hmm.
That'll be good. All of them. This will be really nice too, because it's really going to show, I think, a little bit more your density and shape. You've got, I think shape is going to be a key factor in looking at this pose. I think that's what you really have, like one of your strengths is your shape. So it does throw it off a little bit from seeing it from the side. But yeah, man, like I said, my simple critiques are just continue getting in shape, what you were already going to do, and then just get the trunks higher, And my other critique is do classic. That's my official coaching stance.
Okay, man.
Do classic.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
You know what? I'm gonna get on their website and I'm gonna enroll. I'm gonna register.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We get more. 80,
the people have spoken.
80 more bucks from you.
Yeah, it's 105. I think is what it is
for
now.
A crossover?
Yeah. So, but you know what? In the comments for when we release the show, we'll get more people. Hopefully, more people chime in. And it's like, no bodybuilding, no more class, no classic.
Yeah.
You never know.
Then you won't have to. You'll get out of it.
Yeah, get out of it. $105. You know what I mean?
I wonder now for the master's class. You had one other guy, right?
Yeah, and the master's 40 plus.
All right, I'm going to scroll back. I'm going to see if I can open that video up.
The prejudging.
Yeah, prejudging. Yeah.
So the prejudging, the video, it was shot from far away. It's tough to tell anything, but you can get an overall like shape presentation and a presentation of the quarter turns. Because those are important. That's the very first thing judges see: quarter turns.
Yeah.
If you don't master your quarter turns, you're in trouble.
Yeah, let's see how this looks. Oh, yeah. So it's kind of fuzzy, but we can still play it.
Yeah.
We can still watch it here.
Yeah.
Turn the volume down. There we go. Yeah.
Quarter turn to the right.
I'm sure there's a nice guy that you competed against. Did you get a chance to talk to him backstage at all?
Oh, yeah. He's super nice guy. I lent him my muscle juice posing one.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't have any.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, man, dude, you can't go on stage like that. Go to my bag, grab that muscle juice, and put something on.
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't put any on for prejudging. I was like, come on. You spend all this time getting ready for the show, and you're not going to put just the little bit of grease on in the end? Come on.
Yeah.
He was a good dude, though.
And shout out to the Delphs. Delphs were there.
Yeah, the Delphs were there. Ryan competed, and Haley was one of the facilitators of the show.
Nice.
So, yeah. And Haley's sister, Caitlin, she was handing out awards.
Oh, no kidding.
And I didn't recognize her at all because the last time I seen her, she looked way different. She cleans up so good.
You clean up nice.
I didn't recognize her until like 10 minutes before the show was over altogether. I was like, oh my God, Caitlin, I'm so sorry. Oh man, I'm sorry.
That's funny.
I should have been nicer to you. I was like, get away from me, lady. Give me my medal already.
Well, even though you only had the one other guy in this class, man, it doesn't matter. It's not about the actual contest itself anyway, right? It was about
man. This was me against me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like this. This is about getting my feet wet and getting back into it and getting the ropes down again.
I'm so glad you can look at it that way too. Because sometimes people are like, this is my signature and I'm not happy with it because if you're not at your absolute best, but you're like, hey, I've been dieting for 8 weeks. I'm in pretty good shape. I'm going to do this. Why not do it?
Yeah. No. I never once thought, like I said, it was win, lose, or draw. I don't give a shit. I just wanted to do it. Be there for my nephew for his first show. It was basically a family affair, man. All my family was there taking pictures and stuff.
That's freaking cool, man.
Yeah. Who gets to say that, in their competitive foray?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I had to go for it.
I love it, and especially too that your perspective is probably different now versus when you're really
I'm not
serious about bodybuilding. It's
not vying for a pro card. I was like, everything's about that pro card. You gotta take top 3. It's always top 3 or no good.
Yeah. So it's a lot more pressure, and it's harder to. It's still fun, but it's a different fun. Than
exactly
than what you can have.
Perspective is everything. Perspective is everything. It's completely different perspective this time. When you get old and you start doing the master stuff, you get a completely different perspective. Especially when you've already been through it and you've lived your life as a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. You're coming back out of retirement and just putting your best foot forward. It's nothing more than another examination.
I think it was cool, man, and it was a pleasant surprise. Stefan says we got to call into Scott's internet service provider and give him hell. Yeah, I need you guys to give him crap. We just had the guy out here to fix it too, so I don't even know. Man. But I might have to actually change companies. So this is we've been doing good. I've been doing good up until today. So
Yeah.
By the way, I wore my
Yeah, see-
John Meadows shirt today. Do you remember this
I
one?
noticed that.
Yeah.
I've got one just like
Yeah,
it.
this is one of my favorites. I didn't fit into it for a long time, and now I can wear 1Xs again. So I
Yeah.
can bring it back out. Pancakes are my protocol. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. God bless them.
Yeah.
God bless them.
Hell yeah.
Well, what do you say? We wrap it up then, Scott. What do you say?
That sounds good
We've
to
been
me.
Yeah. Quick Bodybuilding Nerds Radio for everybody, listening audience. I'm glad you could tune in but comment below. Let us know what you think.
Yep.
You know?
Leave us questions too. We'd love to do a couple
Questions, that's
questions
right.
on the next episode. That would be fun.
Yeah,
Also,
get a little more interactive with our listening
yeah,
audience.
anything that you guys want to talk about in a future show besides that, like what about like reactions, you know, any videos that you want us to watch, and especially like cool old school bodybuilding videos, we'd love to watch
All about
those
it.
and, you know, do some reactions to those with you guys too.
Yeah. We'd watch that in our spare time anyway.
Exactly.
Why not watch it with y'all?
I would watch
you know?
it and comment to Vijay on text. He would comment back to me on text. We can do it right here. Just cut out the text. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. We can do it live too. You know?
can.
We went live again today, but we meant to.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Yeah.
I was holding my tongue the whole time. I was like, just don't say anything stupid. All right? For God's sake.
And it worked out, right?
It did work out. Yeah. It worked out. Yeah. Yeah. Minus the internet interruptions.
Right.
But hey,
Yeah.
we do the best we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll patch that
Well,
up.
shit. Scott McNally, thank you for the critiques. You know, yeah. Listen, there's only 4 people in the world that I, you know, your opinion means the world to me. You know what I mean? And it's Scott McNally, it's Bill Tocco, it's Shelby Starnes, and my buddy Jason from Louisiana. And if I can get a compliment from any one of those guys, I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? Because anyone else can say anything, and it's fine. I take it with a grain of salt, you know, when it comes to critiquing the bodybuilding performance or just, you know, how I look on stage. But these guys, if you look like shit, they'll let you know. They always will. And I respect the shit out of them. And I couldn't have a better group of friends when it comes to, like, that tight-knit bodybuilding, you know, community that we have. You know, it's like you always only get honesty out of them. Well, so I appreciate you. I appreciate you, you know, going over my stuff for me too.
Dude,
man.
it's my pleasure, man. I'm honored that you would even feel that way. Number one, and number two, it's absolutely my pleasure. I love talking this stuff, and
well, I knew you would.
I'm excited to see what you do next. You know, you've got room to change a couple things, and there's no question.
New trunks, right? New trunks.
Well,
right?
yeah, you could do new trunks or classic trunks, or you could glue the trunks you have and make those work if you wanted to go that route. But
Yeah.
I bet you could find something a little better fitting. You know, but regardless, just getting them up higher, I think it's going to do a world difference for your shape. And then do the thing you were going to keep doing anyway. Just keep dieting, you know?
That's it. Just keep suffering. Keep suffering. All right?
Yep.
All right, man. Well, on that note, for Bodybuilding Nerds Radio and Scott McNally, we bid you adieu.
See you guys. And hey, thank you to everybody in the live stream. You guys are freaking awesome.
Thanks for everyone sticking around, even though we have so many goddamn problems with the internet provider.
Yep. And Stefan does say, he's like, but he said,
New trunks.
Yeah, new trunks.
Yeah. Group hug. Group hug, everybody.
All right. See you guys.
That's great. Bye, guys.